Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with the quiet collapse of Xerox, the failure to capitalize on computing vision. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Even the tallest towers eventually quiet down. Tonight, we gently explore the empty boardrooms and forgotten ambitions of the past. Your mind is calm, and we are ready to begin. A modest beginning in 1938 marked the inception of a company that would eventually reshape office productivity. This early venture focused on the development of photostat technology, enabling the duplication of documents with unprecedented efficiency. The brand quickly garnered attention for its innovative approach to copying, leading to the creation of the first commercially successful photocopier, the Xerox Model 600. This initial breakthrough not only established a reputation, but also laid the groundwork for future advancements. The introduction of the Xerox 914 in 1960, with its ability to produce high-quality copies quickly, transformed the landscape of business communication. Organizations across various sectors embraced the technology, integrating it into daily operations. Such rapid adoption positioned the brand as a household name, synonymous with copying. Alongside the success of the photocopier, the creation of the Palo Alto Research Center in 1970 established an environment ripe for innovation. Researchers began exploring ideas far beyond the realm of copying, delving into computing and graphical user interfaces. This shift hinted at a potential future that extended well beyond the original vision. Yet, despite these promising developments, the brand struggled to fully grasp the implications of its innovations, setting the stage for challenges that would emerge in the years to come. The introduction of the xerography process marked a pivotal moment in the evolution of document reproduction. This technology, characterized by its ability to produce high-quality copies with remarkable speed and efficiency, quickly captured the attention of businesses and institutions alike. As the new method gained traction, it fundamentally altered the landscape of office work, rendering traditional techniques increasingly obsolete. In this region of innovation, the equipment became a cornerstone of modern business operations, facilitating a shift toward a more streamlined approach to documentation. The demand for xerographic machines surged, transforming the company into a household name synonymous with copying technology. The simplicity and convenience of this process enabled users to generate duplicates with minimal effort, enhancing productivity across various sectors. Despite this success, the organization faced mounting pressure to sustain its market position. Competitors emerged, each attempting to capitalize on the newfound efficiency that xerography promised. The very innovations that had once set them apart began to blur in the eyes of the consumer as alternatives flooded the market. This dilution of brand identity, coupled with a failure to innovate beyond the initial breakthrough, foreshadowed the gradual decline of a once dominant entity. The very technology that had revolutionized document reproduction now stood as a testament to the complexities of maintaining relevance in an ever-evolving landscape. The rise of the Xerox copier marked a pivotal moment in the history of office equipment. During the 1960s, it emerged as an indispensable tool, transforming workplaces across the United States and beyond. The introduction of the Xerox 1947 model sparked a newfound efficiency in document handling, allowing for rapid replication of text and images. This innovation not only simplified workflows, but also significantly reduced the time typically spent on manual copying. Market dominance quickly followed. With an expansive marketing strategy and a robust distribution network, it captured attention and cemented its position as the leader in the photocopying industry. Offices became equipped with machines that could produce copies in mere seconds, shifting organizational dynamics and enhancing productivity. The convenience of this technology encouraged widespread adoption, leading to a surge in demand. The allure of the Xerox copier extended beyond functionality. A cultural phenomenon began to develop, with the brand becoming synonymous with copying itself. This connection entrenched its influence within both corporate environments and popular culture. The innovation of the photocopier laid the groundwork for future developments in document technology, further propelling the company into a prominent position within the market. As production expanded, it became evident that the foundation for a legacy was being established, one that would face both opportunities and trials in the future. The Palo Alto Research Center, often referred to as PARC, emerged as a beacon of innovation within the organization. This facility became synonymous with pioneering research and development in the computing realm. A fertile ground for groundbreaking ideas, it attracted brilliant minds who envisioned a future ripe with technological possibilities. Within its walls, concepts such as graphical user interfaces and Ethernet networking took shape, laying the groundwork for an interconnected digital landscape. Despite these advancements, a disconnect began to surface between visionary creations and their applications in the broader market. While researchers at PARC diligently crafted transformative technologies, the business side struggled to align these innovations with commercial viability. The insights and inventions, although revolutionary, seemed to drift further away from practical implementation. Management's inability to fully recognize the potential of these inventions contributed to a gradual erosion of the company's competitive edge. Misalignment of priorities fostered an environment where remarkable ideas languished, overshadowed by the challenges of adapting to a rapidly evolving industry. The once promising visions emanating from this center of creativity began to fade into obscurity, leaving behind a legacy of unrealized potential. This phase of innovation, juxtaposed against stagnation, characterized a pivotal moment in the company's trajectory, as the gulf widened between aspiration and execution. A series of groundbreaking inventions emerged from the Palo Alto Research Center, where an environment rich in creativity fostered the birth of the personal computer. The development of the graphical user interface represented a significant leap forward, allowing users to interact with machines in a more intuitive manner. This innovation, alongside the pioneering work on networking protocols, laid the foundation for a new era in computing, one that promised accessibility and ease of use. These early innovations captured the imagination of technologists and entrepreneurs alike. Visionaries recognized the potential of these concepts, leading to the establishment of numerous startups that would later define the industry. The synergy of hardware and software advancements at this site created an atmosphere of excitement, yet this was not mirrored within the larger organization. Despite the breakthroughs, the company struggled to adapt its corporate strategy to embrace these emerging technologies. The disconnect between the innovations at PARC and the broader corporate vision hindered the ability to capitalize on the momentum generated by these developments. This divergence not only stifled potential growth, but also allowed competitors to seize the advantage, transforming these early ideas into commercially viable products. The contrast between the imaginative work at PARC and the rigid corporate framework underscored the challenges that would. The development of Ethernet technology marked a pivotal moment within the realm of networking. Conceived during the early 1970s, it emerged from the innovative minds at Xerox's Palo Alto Research Center. This groundbreaking protocol allowed for the seamless communication between interconnected devices, facilitating the transfer of data across networks with unprecedented efficiency. Despite its significance, the potential of this breakthrough was not fully embraced. The corporate structure surrounding it prioritized immediate profits over the pursuit of revolutionary concepts, while competitors began to recognize the value of Ethernet, translating it into marketable solutions. The organization hesitated. The vision was there, yet the execution faltered within the confines of bureaucracy. As Ethernet gained traction elsewhere, an ecosystem began to develop around it, fostering advancements in networking technology that would. The misalignment between innovation and corporate strategy continued to widen, leaving the once promising technology scattered among competitors. The triumph of Ethernet in broader markets underscored a profound irony. It was a triumph born from the very ideas that failed to flourish under the careful oversight of their originator. In time, this disconnect would contribute to the decline of a once dominant entity in the technology landscape. The emergence of the graphical user interface marked a pivotal moment in technological evolution. It transformed how individuals interacted with computers, inviting users into a realm of visual engagement rather than text-based commands. This innovation significantly enhanced user experience, lowering barriers to entry for those unfamiliar with computing. Although the potential of the graphical user interface was evident, it was not fully embraced. The fading company, entrenched in its established practices, struggled to adapt to this new paradigm. Competitors rapidly adopted the GUI, refining it and integrating it into their offerings. This shift allowed them to capture market share and elevate user satisfaction, leaving the once dominant entity to grapple with its reluctance to change. The disconnect between vision and execution became increasingly apparent. Internal divisions and a lack of cohesive strategy stifled the company's ability to innovate. Talented individuals within the organization, aware of the potential benefits of the graphical user interface, found their ideas stifled by an unwillingness to pivot. As competitors thrived, the fading company's market position weakened. The very technology that promised a brighter future instead served as a reminder of what could have been. The consequences of inaction became clear, leading to a gradual erosion of influence. A once pioneering force in technology now struggled to reclaim its place in an evolving landscape. The emergence of the mouse as an input device marked a pivotal shift in user interactivity. This innovation transformed the way individuals engaged with computing systems, enabling a more intuitive and fluid experience. Originally developed in the 1960s, it gained traction in the following decades, reshaping user interfaces and broadening accessibility. This new paradigm allowed users to navigate complex graphical environments with ease, fostering a deeper connection to technology. Companies began to embrace this shift, crafting operating systems and applications that leverage the capabilities of the mouse. Enhanced graphical user interfaces emerged, emphasizing visual elements and interactive features. This evolution was not merely technological. It represented a fundamental change in how people perceived and utilized computers. The once dominant command line interfaces faded in prominence, making way for systems that prioritized user experience. In this region of innovation, the fading company failed to adapt. The once revered vision of seamless interactivity slipped away, overshadowed by competitors who recognized the potential of the mouse. As rivals advanced their offerings, the disconnect between vision and execution grew. The realization dawned that failure to capitalize on this moment would lead to an enduring decline. The decline persisted as it struggled against the tide of change, a victim of its own legacy. The legacy, once bright, became a cautionary tale in the annals of corporate history. During the late 1970s, Xerox ventured into the burgeoning realm of personal computing with an ambitious vision. It was an era marked by innovation and the emergence of groundbreaking technologies. The introduction of the Alto in 1973 showcased a pioneering graphical user interface, fundamentally altering how users interacted with machines. This vision, however, remained largely unrecognized and unappreciated by the broader market. These initial attempts to market the personal computer were marred by significant miscalculations. The company, entrenched in its successful copier business, hesitated to fully embrace the potential of this new market. promotional efforts lacked the vigor necessary to capture the interest of consumers and businesses alike. Instead of positioning itself as a leader in the personal computing landscape, it adopted a passive stance, allowing competitors to seize the opportunity. The absence of a cohesive strategy led to a series of missed opportunities. Despite having the technological foundation to revolutionize the industry, it failed to effectively communicate the value of its innovations. This reluctance to pivot away from established business models resulted in a gradual decline in relevance. The missed opportunity to capture a significant share of the personal computer market. The role of Steve Jobs and Apple stands as a juxtaposition to this reality. Apple, observing the innovations emerging from this region, recognized the potential that Xerox had overlooked. The introduction of the graphical user interface and the mouse, once mere concepts within Xerox's labs, became foundational elements for Apple's products. Jobs, inspired by these advancements, meticulously integrated them into a cohesive vision that resonated with consumers. This approach led to a surge in personal computing interest, propelling Apple into the limelight. The Macintosh, introduced in 1984, took cues from Xerox's pioneering work, but packaged it in a manner that was accessible and appealing. Through this lens, it becomes evident how crucial adaptation and vision are in the tech landscape. The contrast between Xerox and Apple highlights a critical lesson in innovation. While one company remained entrenched in its legacy, the other embraced change and consumer-oriented design. Apple capitalized on the groundwork laid by Xerox, transforming it into a commercially viable product. The rise of Apple against the backdrop of Xerox's stagnation paints a stark picture of the importance of foresight and the ability to pivot in an ever-evolving market. This outcome serves as a reminder that success often hinges not just on invention, but on the strategic application of ideas within the right context. The launch of the Xerox Alto in 1973 marked a significant milestone in computing history. This innovative machine introduced the graphical user interface, a concept that would fundamentally alter human interaction with technology. It featured a bitmap display, icons, and a mouse, elements that would become standard in future computing devices. Despite its groundbreaking design, the Alto found limited commercial success. Intended primarily for research institutions and advanced users, its high cost and niche appeal restricted broader adoption. The vision behind the Alto was that of a personal computer accessible to everyone. Yet, it remained confined to the walls of Xerox's research facilities, overshadowed by the broader market's lack of readiness for such advanced technology. While the Alto demonstrated immense potential, it existed in isolation. The surrounding corporate culture did not prioritize market strategies or user engagement. The absence of a clear path to commercialization stifled the innovation's impact. Other companies began to recognize and capitalize on similar ideas, creating products that resonated with mainstream audiences. The Alto served as a beacon of what could be achieved in personal computing, yet its legacy was. The challenges of internal resistance manifested as conflicts within management. This environment cultivated a reluctance to embrace innovation, inhibiting the full potential of visionary projects. A culture steeped in traditional business practices clashed with the forward-thinking possibilities presented by new technology. Leadership struggled to reconcile the established revenue streams derived from copiers with the emerging landscape of computing. Resistance grew from the fear of disrupting profitable operations, leading to a hesitance to invest in unproven ventures. Disagreements among executives further strained initiatives, creating silos that stifled collaboration. This fragmentation led to a lack of coherent strategy, undermining the company's ability to pivot toward new opportunities. The once promising developments languished under bureaucratic red tape, as teams were often left to navigate a complex decision-making process that prioritized risk aversion over innovation. The vision for a computing future was overshadowed by internal struggles, resulting in missed chances to redefine the company's market presence. The resources that could have been allocated to developing groundbreaking technologies were instead diverted to maintaining legacy products. This misalignment of priorities not only eroded morale, but also diminished the company's reputation as a leader in technological advancement. As the computing revolution gained momentum, the fading company found itself increasingly sidelined, unable to adapt to the rapidly evolving industry landscape. Research and innovation flourished within its laboratories, yet there existed a profound disconnect between these advancements and their commercialization. Brilliant minds conceived cutting-edge technologies, but the translation of these concepts into marketable products proved elusive. This division became increasingly evident as competitors swiftly brought their innovations to market, capturing consumer interest and investment. Leadership struggled to align the strategic vision with the operational realities of a changing market. Ambitious projects languished in development, their potential obscured by bureaucratic inertia. Resources were allocated toward ideas that fell short of addressing customer needs or market trends. The lack of urgency in bringing viable products to fruition left it vulnerable to competitors who understood the importance of agility. While research divisions pursued ambitious visions of the future, the disconnect rendered these efforts ineffective in a commercial context. This environment fostered a culture that prioritized invention over practical application, leading to a growing chasm between what could be imagined and what could be delivered. As external pressures intensified, the fading company found itself not merely in competition, but in a struggle for relevance. This misalignment became evident as the landscape of technology evolved rapidly. The shift towards personal computing marked a pivotal moment, one that was overlooked by those at the helm. Awareness of emerging trends remained elusive, leading to decisions that favored established practices over innovation. While competitors embraced the potential of smaller, more accessible devices, it clung to its legacy of large, complex systems. Corporate visionaries had envisioned a future where every individual would have access to computing power. This future was slowly materializing, yet the fading company remained anchored in its historical strengths, unable to pivot effectively. Internal discussions often revolved around maintaining dominance in the traditional market rather than anticipating the democratization of technology. The rise of personal computers was met with a dismissive attitude, rooted in a belief that the established model would endure. This reluctance to adapt created a chasm between their offerings and the evolving demands of consumers. As competitors released user-friendly devices that catered to a broader audience, the relevance of its products diminished. This disconnect rippled through the organization, affecting morale and innovation. The vision once held by its founders faded into the background, overshadowed by a growing realization that they were no longer driving the industry narrative. The essence of transformation lay just outside their grasp. The rise of competitors marked a significant turning point within this landscape. IBM, once a giant rooted in mainframe computing, began to shift its focus toward personal computing. It recognized the emerging demand for smaller, more accessible machines that could serve individual users rather than entire organizations. This shift was not merely a response to market trends, but a calculated strategy that would redefine the industry. With its introduction of the IBM personal computer in 1981, a paradigm was established that prioritized user-friendliness and compatibility. Consumers quickly gravitated toward the sleek design and operational efficiency that these units provided. They offered an alternative to the cumbersome systems of the past and positioned IBM as a leader in a new era of computing. Amidst this evolution, Xerox's innovations remained largely unrecognized. The advanced technologies developed within its labs, such as graphical user interfaces and networking capabilities, did not translate into market dominance. The company struggled to commercialize its groundbreaking ideas effectively, allowing competitors to seize the initiative. This rivalry fostered a rapidly evolving environment, characterized by aggressive marketing and strategic partnerships. As IBM gained momentum, other companies emerged, each contributing to a growing ecosystem that further marginalized the fading company's relevance. The landscape transformed, leaving behind the once prominent name, now overshadowed by the very competitors it had failed to anticipate. Innovation in technology surged forward while the fading company grappled with its legacy hardware. The early enthusiasm surrounding its pioneering inventions neglected to address the burgeoning demand for software solutions. It became increasingly evident that the focus on physical products obscured a deeper understanding of application needs. This oversight rendered it unable to adapt to evolving consumer expectations, which leaned heavily towards integrated software experiences. Competition flourished in this region, with agile startups capitalizing on the gap. These emerging enterprises recognized the critical importance of software development, tailoring applications that enhanced user engagement and productivity. The fading company, in contrast, clung to its hardware-centric vision, failing to recognize that software was rapidly becoming the backbone of computing. As the years progressed, this disconnect deepened. Efforts to pivot towards software were inconsistent, resulting in disjointed offerings that lacked coherence. Market leaders embraced agile methodologies, fostering collaborative environments that nurtured innovation. The contrast highlighted the stark reality of stagnation within the once visionary organization. Gradually, the culture became entrenched in outdated practices, resisting the necessary evolution demanded by an increasingly software-driven world. The inability to align with the needs of the market further eroded its relevance, leading to a continued decline that echoed through the corridors of its historical headquarters. An entrenched corporate culture stifled innovation, creating a barrier to creativity and adaptability. Employees found themselves navigating a landscape where risk-taking was discouraged, leading to a climate of caution and conformity. This atmosphere often prioritized maintaining the status quo over embracing emerging technologies or exploring new ideas. Collaboration, once a hallmark of creativity, became overshadowed by bureaucratic processes, reducing the potential for groundbreaking advancements. The fear of failure lingered heavily, deterring skilled individuals from proposing unconventional solutions. As the industry evolved, this reluctance to deviate from traditional practices contributed to a disconnect between aspirations and achievable outcomes. Those within these walls witnessed a gradual decline in motivation, as the excitement of pioneering technology faded into a monotonous routine. This stifling environment fostered a cycle of mediocrity, where ambition was overshadowed by the desire for stability. Visionary ideas, once nurtured, were often relegated to the archives, gathering dust as competitors surged ahead. The inability to pivot or embrace change became emblematic of the organization's struggles, leaving it vulnerable to more agile rivals. As innovation stagnated, the whispers of missed opportunities grew louder, echoing through the desolate halls. The impact of corporate culture was profound. The shift from hardware to software marked a crucial turning point for many companies in the technology sector. This transformation revealed significant inadequacies within the fading company. Once a titan of photocopying and printing, it struggled to redefine its identity in a rapidly evolving landscape. An over-reliance on established hardware revenues stifled innovation, leading to a disconnect with the burgeoning software market. Competitors swiftly embraced the digital revolution, transforming their business models to prioritize software solutions. The absence of agility in adapting to these changes became increasingly evident. While it held valuable patents and groundbreaking ideas, the inability to pivot towards software left it vulnerable. This region of the market was characterized by rapid advancements and shifting consumer preferences. In contrast, traditional offerings became increasingly obsolete. The failure to recognize the strategic importance of software development resulted in stagnation. It became clear that the once revered reputation was built upon a foundation that no longer held relevance. The corporate vision faltered as leadership struggled to reconcile the legacy of hardware dominance with the urgent need for software innovation. The reluctance to abandon established practices. The high cost of research and development created an unsustainable financial approach, burdening the organization with escalating expenses. Investment in innovation remained paramount, yet the returns failed to materialize in a competitive landscape. Resources allocated to projects often exceeded initial projections, resulting in diminishing returns that strained the company's financial stability. The ambitious vision of pioneering technology, such as the graphical user interface, diverged from practical applications, leading to a disconnect between expenditure and market demand. Each initiative seemed promising during its inception, but consequently, the organization found itself at a crossroads. The historical emphasis on groundbreaking ideas began to clash with the urgent need for profitability. As competitors embraced leaner operational models, the fading company remained trapped in its own legacy, unable to pivot effectively. This misalignment between ambition and fiscal responsibility painted a somber picture of an enterprise that once stood at the forefront of technological advancement. The decline commenced quietly, marked by missed opportunities and a retreat into the shadows of its formidable past. The launch of the Xerox Star epitomized the intersection of innovation and commercial miscalculation. Designed in the early 1980s, this pioneering computer sought to redefine user interaction through its graphical user interface. The vision was ambitious, presenting a new paradigm that would later influence countless technologies. Yet, its introduction was met with skepticism and a market ill-prepared for such a radical shift. Despite its groundbreaking features, the Xerox Star struggled to gain traction. The price point, exceeding $40,000, placed it out of reach for many potential users and organizations. It catered primarily to a niche market, alienating the broader audience that might have embraced its advancements. The technology was advanced, yet the marketing efforts were lackluster, failing to convey the product's unique capabilities in a compelling manner. As the months turned into years, the Star became emblematic of the growing disconnect between innovation and market demand. While the product showcased what was possible, it also highlighted a failure to adapt to the realities of consumer needs and economic constraints. This regional shift into obscurity was further compounded by the rise of competitors who capitalized on the very concepts pioneered by Xerox. The company's inability to pivot in response to market conditions. The importance of marketing strategy became increasingly evident as failures in communication led to a disconnect between the offerings and potential customers. They struggled to articulate the value of innovations, leaving consumers unaware of the capabilities that could enhance productivity and streamline operations. This gap in messaging resulted in missed opportunities as competitors emerged with clearer narratives that resonated with target audiences. Understanding the nuances of marketing became critical in this evolving landscape. While advanced technologies were developed, they remained obscured by ineffective promotional efforts. Some initiatives failed to highlight key advantages, diminishing perceived value in the eyes of stakeholders. This lack of clarity positioned the company as a relic of the past rather than an innovator at the forefront of change. As the market shifted toward digital solutions, their static marketing approach left it vulnerable. Consumers sought clarity and relevance in a world marked by rapid technological advancement. The resulting ambiguity led to confusion and indifference, effectively alienating a base that once embraced the brand. In an environment where adaptability is essential, the inability to convey value created barriers to entry in new markets. Competitors capitalized on this misstep, further entrenching their positions. This dynamic left behind a fading brand, struggling to reclaim its once prominent place in an industry that continued to evolve without it. Leadership changes within the organization often resulted in a lack of coherent direction. Frequent turnover at the executive level disrupted strategic continuity, leaving teams adrift. Decisions made in haste frequently reflected the urgency to respond to declining market presence rather than a well-considered vision for the future. This instability in management fostered an environment of uncertainty. Employees became disengaged, their morale diminished as they witnessed their companies struggle to stabilize. Amid these shifts, initiatives intended to innovate were often short-lived or poorly executed. A focus on immediate cost-cutting measures overshadowed the long-term investments needed for technological advancement. The culture of experimentation, once a hallmark of the brand, eroded under the weight of critical financial scrutiny. Commitments to groundbreaking projects were frequently abandoned, thwarting potential breakthroughs. External observers noted the growing disconnect between leadership's vision and the operational realities. Market competitors capitalized on this disparity, advancing technologies that Xerox might have pioneered. The consequences of these management decisions became increasingly evident as the organization faced not only diminishing market share, but also reputational damage. In this climate, the legacy of innovation transformed into a cautionary tale as the company struggled against the currents of a rapidly changing industry. Each decision resonated through the corridors of power, amplifying the sense of loss that permeated through its once vibrant halls. The economic recession cast a long shadow over business operations, forcing difficult choices to be made. This decline in financial stability led to significant budget cuts, impacting research and development initiatives that once positioned it at the forefront of innovation. Resources that had supported groundbreaking projects were swiftly reallocated, resulting in a stagnation of creativity and ambition. Layoffs became a common feature of the landscape as the once thriving workforce was systematically reduced. Employees who had dedicated their careers to advancing the company's vision found themselves facing uncertainty. The emotional and psychological toll echoed through the remaining teams, fostering an atmosphere of apprehension and low morale. As the workforce diminished, the ripple effects were felt in productivity and collaboration. Remaining staff members struggled to maintain the same output with fewer resources, leading to a culture of overextension. The loss of talent and expertise created gaps in knowledge and capability, further hindering progress. The ability to adapt to changing market dynamics was compromised. Once a leader in technology, the organization found it increasingly challenging to compete against more agile rivals. This erosion of competitiveness only deepened the crisis, as the brand's reputation began to fade in the eyes of consumers and investors alike. The cumulative impact of these economic pressures further entrenched the decline, creating a cycle that would become increasingly difficult to break. The absence of a cohesive strategy for brand loyalty in personal computing contributed significantly to the erosion of market presence. Consumers encountered an array of choices, yet none evoked the attachment or trust that a brand like Xerox once enjoyed. In this environment, it became increasingly challenging to position products as essential components of everyday life. The allure of innovation faded against a backdrop of inconsistent marketing messages. and a failure to engage with the burgeoning personal computing community. Decisions made within the corporate structure often prioritized short-term gains over building lasting relationships with users. In a rapidly evolving landscape, this approach proved detrimental. Competitors capitalized on the emerging demand for personal devices, fostering a sense of belonging and identity among their customers. They built ecosystems that encouraged loyalty through regular updates and community interaction, creating an atmosphere that Xerox could not replicate. This disconnect manifested in dwindling sales, as the fading company struggled to resonate with a new generation of tech-savvy individuals. The absence of robust brand loyalty left it vulnerable, as consumers turned to alternatives that offered not only superior technology, but also a connection to a broader narrative of innovation and progress. With each passing year, the opportunity to reclaim a prominent position diminished, solidifying a legacy of lost potential. The decision to concentrate on the core copier business marked a pivotal moment in the organization's trajectory. This choice emerged from a desire to maintain stability amid a rapidly evolving technological landscape. By prioritizing traditional equipment, the fading company believed it could secure short-term profits, reinforcing its established identity. This strategy, however, proved to be short-sighted, as it neglected the burgeoning world of computing and digital solutions. With competitors innovating at an unprecedented pace, the organization found itself increasingly isolated. The advancements in personal computing and software applications opened new avenues that remained unexplored. By clinging to the familiar, they overlooked the potential of transforming their offerings to meet emerging demands. Sales of copiers, while initially robust, began to decline as the market shifted towards digital processes and cloud-based solutions. The once thriving business model faltered, unable to adapt to a changing environment. New players entered the field, capturing market share and attracting a generation of consumers drawn to innovation. This region of the industry became a landscape marked by rapid change, with the organization's hesitance to pivot resulting in a gradual erosion of relevance. With each quarter that passed, the grip on their historical strengths loosened, and the vision of a digital future faded further into the distance. The corporate structure became increasingly rigid, enveloped in layers of hierarchy that stifled innovation. Decision-making processes extended over lengthy periods, with approvals required at multiple levels. This entrenchment of bureaucracy created an environment where ideas struggled to gain traction, often buried beneath mounds of paperwork and protocol. Meetings multiplied, yet clarity remained elusive, as discussions drifted into the minutiae, leaving crucial decisions unmade. Leadership, once agile and responsive, found itself mired in routine. This sluggishness became palpable as competitors, unencumbered by similar constraints, swiftly capitalized on emerging technologies. The contrast was stark. While others embraced change, the fading company clung to outdated practices. Teams became disengaged, caught in an endless cycle of deliberation that eroded their motivation and stifled creativity. With every delay, the opportunity to redefine its market position diminished. Resources that might have propelled innovation were redirected to maintaining the status quo. As the landscape of technology evolved rapidly, the inability to pivot or adapt became a defining characteristic. Stakeholders observed a once dominant entity gradually transform into a cautionary tale of mischances, where the promise of a bright digital future remained just out of reach, overshadowed by the weight of internal inertia. The vision that had once driven groundbreaking initiatives now lay dormant, stifled by its own structure. The emergence of Microsoft marked a significant turning point in the landscape of software development. This new entity, with its innovative approach, began to capture the attention of businesses and consumers alike. Rapid advancements in personal computing were embraced by this rising force, which positioned itself as a leader in software solutions. Their focus on user-friendly interfaces and seamless integration transformed how individuals interacted with technology, creating a stark contrast to the stagnation seen in the fading company. In this environment, the demand for versatile software applications surged. Microsoft responded adeptly, developing programs that catered to a diverse range of needs, from productivity tools to gaming software. This shift towards more accessible and adaptable technology resonated with a growing audience eager to harness the potential of their computers. As they capitalized on emerging trends, Microsoft effectively captured market share and reshaped expectations regarding software capabilities. The fading company, once a pioneer, struggled to redefine its role in this new era. Internal complexities and an inability to innovate further compounded its challenges, leaving it increasingly isolated. The gap between Microsoft's forward momentum and the stagnation of its counterpart widened, highlighting a critical failure to adapt. This landscape, marked by a rapid evolution in technology, showcased the stark realities of corporate decline as opportunities slipped away, unrecognized and unseized. Emerging from the shadows, a new breed of personal computing devices began to infiltrate the market, fundamentally altering the competitive landscape. These PC clones, often characterized by their affordability and compatibility with existing software, captured the attention of businesses and consumers alike. The rising demand for these alternatives highlighted a notable shift in consumer preferences, where cost efficiency began to trump brand loyalty. In this changing environment, Xerox, once a titan of innovation, struggled to maintain its foothold. The inability to swiftly adapt to the rapidly evolving technological trends revealed a profound disconnect between the company's visionary aspirations and the practical realities of the marketplace. While clones proliferated, offering compelling features at a fraction of the cost, Xerox found itself ensnared in a web of its own legacy. The once clear distinction between Xerox's advanced capabilities and the burgeoning competition became increasingly nebulous. The excitement surrounding these clones overshadowed the company's efforts, rendering its pioneering technologies obsolete in the eyes of consumers. This erosion of market share was not merely a loss of revenue, but rather a reflection of a broader failure to recognize and respond to shifting dynamics. As the tide of clones continued to rise, Xerox's identity as a leader in innovation began to wane, leaving behind a haunting reminder of opportunities lost amid the relentless march of progress. The importance of partnerships became increasingly critical in the evolving tech landscape. Opportunities for collaboration presented themselves as various companies ventured into new realms of computing and technology. These alliances could have paved the way for shared innovation, leveraging combined expertise to address emerging market needs. The reluctance to forge strategic partnerships marked a significant misstep. Instead of aligning with agile startups or established technology firms, Xerox remained insular, focusing on its traditional strengths. This approach stifled potential synergies that might have revitalized its position within the industry. In other regions, companies thrived by harnessing the power of collaboration, forming alliances that resulted in groundbreaking developments. They recognized that the technological revolution required a collective effort, pooling resources and knowledge to foster creativity and adaptability. Xerox, however, watched from the sidelines as competitors embraced the collaborative spirit, crafting innovative solutions that resonated with consumers and businesses alike. The absence of strategic partnerships left it vulnerable, unable to tap into the fresh ideas that were reshaping the landscape. This reluctance to engage with others was emblematic of deeper issues within the organization, as it struggled to adapt to a rapidly changing environment. The missed collaborations became a defining characteristic of its decline, illustrating how isolation can lead to stagnation in an age defined by connectivity. A gradual erosion of market share marked the years following these missed opportunities. Financial performance began to reflect the consequences of strategic missteps. Revenues dwindled, falling from a peak of approximately $25 billion in the late 1990s to below $10 billion by the early 2010s. The company's once dominant presence in the photocopying and printing sectors diminished as competitors embraced emerging technologies. Innovation stunted and product lines stagnated, leaving it vulnerable to nimble startups and established tech giants. The introduction of digital imaging and multifunction devices by rivals captured the attention of potential customers, further widening the gap. By this point, the firm had failed to effectively pivot its offerings to adapt to the changing landscape, despite once being heralded as a pioneer in technological advancements. Stock prices mirrored this decline, plummeting from highs of over $100 per share to the single digits. Investor confidence waned as the disconnect between vision and execution became painfully apparent. Cost-cutting measures were implemented, yet these actions often resulted in reduced morale and further disengagement among employees. This region, once bustling with innovation and growth, transformed into a landscape of uncertainty, marked by layoffs and downsizing. The fading company struggled to redefine its identity amidst a rapidly evolving marketplace, reflecting a broader trend of declining relevance. Inflexibility became a hallmark of operations, illustrating the challenges faced by this legacy entity. Established systems, once revered for their innovation, began to hinder adaptation to emerging technologies. The weight of an extensive portfolio burdened decision-making processes, leading to slow responses in an environment characterized by relentless advancement. Legacy products, while dependable for existing customers, proved inadequate at attracting a new generation of users eager for modern solutions. This reluctance to pivot away from traditional offerings created a stagnant atmosphere, stifling creativity and limiting exploration into potential avenues of growth. Initiatives intended to modernize often became mired in bureaucracy, resulting in missed opportunities that competitors swiftly seized upon. In this region of technological evolution, the company found itself in a paradox, where past successes became obstacles rather than assets. The inability to integrate contemporary software platforms or cloud-based services further alienated it from a market increasingly focused on mobility and digital transformation. As these advancements gained momentum, the gap widened, revealing the stark contrast between the old and the new. Internal culture shifted, with employees witnessing the stagnation and questioning the viability of their future within the organization. This erosion of morale compounded the challenges faced, creating an environment resistant to the very change that could have revitalized it. The reality of legacy systems thus solidified a decline that few anticipated. Legal issues began to surface as a significant factor in the downfall. Patent disputes consumed resources and diverted attention from innovation. The once vibrant company found itself embroiled in lengthy legal battles that drained financial reserves and stifled creativity. Intellectual property became a contentious battleground, with competitors seeking to exploit any weaknesses in its portfolio. These disputes not only strained relationships with key partners, but also deterred potential collaborators. The perception of vulnerability in the company's legal standing created a climate of uncertainty, making it difficult to attract new talent and investment. This region of corporate warfare was marked by escalating legal fees that chipped away at the bottom line, exacerbating the financial challenges that loomed overhead. In an era where technological advancements dictated success, the inability to secure and protect innovations proved detrimental. The shifting landscape of rights and ownership complicated their efforts to pivot and adapt. Rather than leading the charge in computing, it became mired in a quagmire of litigation, stifling the very spirit that once propelled it forward. As competitors emerged with fresh ideas and agile strategies, the fading company found itself ensnared in a web of its own making, unable to reclaim its former prominence. The impact of these legal entanglements reverberated through the organization, leaving lasting scars on its identity and future prospects. This pressure manifested through the relentless pursuit of immediate profits, overshadowing long-term vision and innovation. Executives found themselves navigating a complex landscape where the expectations of shareholders dictated corporate strategies. The urgency for quarterly gains stifled creativity and hampered investment in emerging technologies, which had once been a hallmark of this organization's pioneering spirit. In boardrooms, discussions shifted from forward-thinking projects to cost-cutting measures aimed at appeasing stakeholders. This shift resulted in a gradual erosion of the foundational principles that had guided the company's early success. Research and development budgets saw significant reductions, leading to a stagnation in product evolution. The once vibrant culture of innovation began to wither, replaced by a climate of risk aversion and short-termism. Amidst this environment, management faced the daunting task of balancing shareholder demands with the need to foster a sustainable growth trajectory. The pressure to deliver results manifested in visible ways, with layoffs and restructuring becoming frequent occurrences. Employees, once motivated by a shared vision, increasingly felt the weight of uncertainty. The organization, once synonymous with technological advancement, became a case study in the pitfalls of prioritizing immediate financial returns over a coherent, visionary strategy. This marked a turning point, leading to an inevitable decline in both reputation and market position. The restructuring efforts initiated during this period were significant. The company sought to pivot its core business model, attempting to adapt to the evolving technological landscape. Strategies were implemented to streamline operations, reduce costs, and focus on emerging markets. These adjustments included the divestiture of non-core assets and the reallocation of resources toward research and development. Despite these intentions, the results fell short of expectations. Leadership changes occurred frequently, creating an environment of uncertainty and instability. New executives brought varying visions, yet none were able to forge a coherent path forward. This inconsistency manifested in fragmented strategies that failed to resonate with both employees and stakeholders. The workforce, once invigorated by innovation, began to experience disillusionment. Morale declined as the disconnect between the new directives and the company's storied legacy deepened. Attempts to embrace new technologies led to miscalculations. Investments in software and services did not yield the anticipated growth. Instead, they often compounded existing issues. Competitors capitalized on this hesitation, establishing stronger footholds in areas that Xerox once dominated. The market watched as the once mighty enterprise struggled to regain its footing, plagued by misalignment and a lack of clear direction. These restructuring efforts, rather than revitalizing the fading company, only highlighted its inability to adapt to a rapidly changing world. The launch of the Xerox Work Center represented an attempt to diversify offerings in a landscape increasingly dominated by rapid technological advancements. This multifaceted device aimed to integrate printing, scanning, copying, and faxing functions into a single unit, suggesting a forward-thinking approach to office productivity. It reflected an understanding of the evolving needs of businesses, particularly in the face of rising competition from emerging technology firms. Despite these aspirations, the Work Center struggled to gain significant traction in the market. The initial excitement surrounding its capabilities faded as users encountered challenges related to reliability and operational complexity. This region of the office equipment sector became saturated with options, leaving the Work Center to compete not only against traditional rivals, but also against innovative newcomers who provided more streamlined solutions. Financial performance proved lackluster, further illustrating the disconnect between vision and execution. Sales figures fell short of projections, and the anticipated growth was overshadowed by the company's ongoing struggles to maintain relevance. Attempts to market the work center were met with skepticism, as potential customers gravitated toward competitors who were more adept at navigating the digital landscape. The resource allocation towards this product line. The resource allocation towards this product line reflected a broader struggle within the organization. Competition in the international market proved increasingly formidable as emerging economies began to develop their own technological capabilities. The presence of local competitors, familiar with regional needs and preferences, added a layer of complexity that the fading company was ill-equipped to address. In this environment, the inability to adapt product offerings to varying cultural contexts became evident. Efforts to standardize marketing strategies across diverse markets often fell flat, alienating potential customers. This disconnect was compounded by a failure to grasp the nuances of burgeoning digital trends, which positioned rivals favorably in the eyes of consumers. The challenges of globalization demanded agility, yet the established practices of this organization hindered timely responses. As a result, both innovation and strategic initiatives lagged behind, leaving it vulnerable to competitors who embraced a more localized approach. In markets where flexibility and speed were paramount, the rigid structures that once supported growth now acted as constraints. Sales figures reflected this decline, with international market share diminishing steadily. The once pioneering entity, known for its cutting-edge technology, was now struggling to maintain relevance amid the evolving global landscape. Its foundational vision, once promising, became obscured by the relentless pace of change. The landscape of technological advancements evolved rapidly, leaving it in a state of stagnation. Competitors embraced innovations, harnessing emerging trends with agility that eclipsed the once dominant player. A shift toward digital solutions, cloud computing, and mobile technologies unfolded, reshaping the industry. Those agile entities, equipped with foresight, capitalized on burgeoning markets, while the fading company struggled to adapt its legacy systems. Each passing year revealed widening gaps in product offerings. Competitors introduced streamlined, user-centric designs that resonated with consumers. In contrast, the once revered brand's attempts to pivot towards modernity felt cumbersome, as if mired in an outdated framework. This disconnect between vision and execution became increasingly evident to stakeholders and customers alike. Investment in research and development waned, further exacerbating the decline. Resources that once fueled groundbreaking initiatives were now allocated to patching existing frameworks, limiting exploratory ventures. An increasingly vocal market expressed frustration, seeking innovative solutions that resonated with their evolving needs. This region of corporate history serves as a cautionary tale, reflecting the dangers of complacency. The inability to keep pace with technological advancements not only eroded market share, but also diminished trust and brand loyalty. As competitors surged ahead, the fading company became a mere whisper, overshadowed by the relentless march of progress. Opportunities missed lingered like shadows in the corridors of the fading company. Advanced technologies developed in its laboratories remained dormant, overshadowed by a lack of strategic vision. Innovations like the graphical user interface, once precursors to a transformative era, failed to see the light of day, trapped within a complex web of internal bureaucracy. Boardroom discussions turned into exercises of complacency, where the potential of existing technologies was overlooked. They could have redefined the landscape of personal computing, but instead were relegated to obscurity. The reluctance to adapt to shifting market demands contributed to a slow erosion of relevance. Competitors leveraged advancements, embracing the very ideas that once originated within those walls. It was not merely a failure to innovate, but an inability to recognize the significance of their own breakthroughs. The landscape of technology evolved rapidly, yet this region remained stagnant, steeped in past successes that no longer resonated with a changing consumer base. The consequences of inaction became evident as market share dwindled and the once dominant presence faded into the background. Each missed opportunity compounded the decline, creating a cycle of irrelevance that was difficult to escape. In the quiet aftermath, the potential that could have propelled them forward now serves as a haunting reminder of what could have been. The landscape of productivity tools underwent a significant transformation with the emergence of a dominant suite. Microsoft Office emerged as a cornerstone of business practices, reshaping workflows and redefining expectations. This suite introduced an integrated approach, allowing seamless transitions between word processing, spreadsheets, and presentations. The simplicity and efficiency of this software created an environment where collaboration flourished, promoting a shared language among professionals. In contrast, the fading company struggled to adapt to the rapid advancements. It remained tethered to traditional paradigms, which hindered its ability to innovate. While Microsoft Office thrived on user-friendly interfaces and constant updates, competing products lacked the same resonance in the marketplace. The disparity in user experience became increasingly apparent, driving businesses to favor solutions that enhanced productivity. The influence of this suite extended beyond mere functionality. It became an essential component for organizations, entrenching itself in their daily operations. This shift prompted a reevaluation of how work was conducted, leading to a new standard that emphasized speed and integration. The fading company, weighed down by its legacy, found itself unable to navigate this evolving landscape. In this region, the dominance of Microsoft Office solidified, leaving behind a trail of missed opportunities and unfulfilled visions, marking a stark contrast to the once promising trajectory of innovation. The slow adaptation to the rise of digital document management revealed a growing disconnect between aspirations and actions. Innovations in this field promised improved efficiency and streamlined workflows, yet the fading company struggled to integrate these advancements into its offerings. Competitors seized the opportunity to develop comprehensive solutions, embracing cloud technology and mobile accessibility. By the early 2000s, it became evident that reliance on traditional printing and copying solutions could no longer sustain relevance. While others rapidly embraced the shift towards digitalization, this organization continued to focus on its established products, failing to recognize the urgency of transformation. The market shifted beneath its feet as enterprises sought integrated systems to manage their documentation needs, turning to agile upstarts that offered innovative alternatives. In boardrooms and strategy meetings, discussions of digital strategy often fell short of actionable results. Investment in technology lagged, and initiatives designed to revitalize the brand frequently failed to materialize. The vision of a paperless future remained an elusive goal, overshadowed by the daily operations of a company rooted in the past. As digital transformation became synonymous with success, this legacy brand found itself increasingly marginalized, struggling to redefine its role within a quickly evolving landscape. Embracing change proved to be a formidable challenge, leading to significant implications for its future. Customer feedback serves as a crucial lifeline for any organization, often illuminating pathways to innovation and improvement. In this case, the disconnection between the fading company and its user base became increasingly evident. Despite possessing groundbreaking technologies, an inability to heed the voices of those who relied on their products marked a turning point in its trajectory. Surveys and market analyses indicated a growing dissatisfaction among consumers, yet responses were met with indifference. This region, once vibrant with user engagement, turned silent as frustrations mounted. The feedback mechanisms, which could have been vital, were either ineffective or entirely disregarded. It became apparent that the leadership prioritized internal vision over external realities, leading to a disconnect that stifled progress. Users sought enhanced functionality and adaptability, but these needs were overshadowed by the desire to maintain established practices. The increasing reliance on outdated models reflected a broader misunderstanding of market dynamics. Competitors, agile and attentive, seized this opportunity to cater to evolving demands. They adapted, innovating based on direct customer insights. The fading company, in contrast, found itself unable to pivot. What was once an industry leader now faced an existential crisis, struggling to reconcile its innovative potential with an alarming disregard for the very people it aimed to serve. The failure to connect with customers manifested through a series of marketing missteps, where branding and communication strategies faltered. It was evident that the messages intended to resonate had instead created a disconnect. In a rapidly evolving landscape, the intended audience was often left perplexed by promotional campaigns that lacked clarity and relevance. This region, once thriving with the visions of future technology, now echoed with confusion and misalignment. The inability to articulate its core value proposition became a significant obstacle. Initiatives that should have showcased innovative products were often overshadowed by poorly executed advertising. The essence of what was once compelling turned into a muddled narrative that did not reflect the company's pioneering spirit. Customers began to perceive it as out of touch, lacking the urgency to adapt to their changing needs. Communication channels that had the potential to engage were underutilized or mismanaged, leading to missed opportunities for connection. This resulted in an erosion of trust, as potential users felt ignored or misunderstood. The fading company struggled to solidify its identity in a market that demanded clarity and authenticity. As competitors emerged with more coherent messaging, it became increasingly clear that the failure to effectively market its innovations contributed to a broader decline, leaving it adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The emergence of cloud computing marked a significant shift within the technology landscape. Traditional models, which relied heavily on localized infrastructure, began to falter under the weight of this new paradigm. As businesses sought greater flexibility and efficiency, reliance on physical servers and on-premises solutions diminished. Companies embraced the allure of remote access, scalability, and reduced overheads, rendering previous systems less appealing. This region, once characterized by robust data centers, witnessed a gradual transformation as organizations pivoted towards cloud-based solutions. The ease of integration and the promise of seamless updates drew enterprises away from legacy systems. It became apparent that this transition was not merely a trend, but a fundamental change in operational philosophy. The ability to store and process vast amounts of data remotely became a cornerstone of modern business practice. Many firms struggled to adapt, finding themselves tethered to outdated technologies that lacked the agility required in an increasingly competitive environment. This disconnect between traditional offerings and emerging needs led to a growing sense of urgency among industry players. As innovative startups captured market share with agile, cloud-centric services, established corporations faced a stark reality. The once stalwart giants found their influence waning, overshadowed by the relentless march of technological evolution. Fading collaborations contributed significantly to the decline of this once prominent entity. Attempts at strategic alliances often unraveled, revealing a lack of cohesive vision. Initial agreements, filled with promise, frequently fell short of expectations, leading to disillusionment among stakeholders. The inability to foster productive partnerships eroded confidence, both internally and externally. Disparate goals among collaborators often created friction, stifling innovation. The anticipated synergies failed to materialize, leaving behind a fragmented landscape of missed opportunities. This region, once a beacon of innovation, became a somber reminder of what could have been. Misalignment in strategic objectives led to wasted resources, further compounding the downward spiral. Competing interests muddled communications, resulting in projects that lacked clarity and direction. The absence of a unified approach to emerging technologies meant that they struggled to keep pace with more agile competitors. The potential for transformative advancements became overshadowed by internal discord and mismanagement. Consequently, the market began to view these efforts with skepticism. Analysts noted the increasing frequency of abandoned initiatives, signaling a deeper malaise. A once flourishing network of partnerships deteriorated into a series of isolated failures. Trust eroded, and loyalty dissipated, reflecting a broader trend of disengagement. The ramifications of these poor strategic alliances underscored a critical miscalculation in navigating the evolving technological landscape. The rise of mobile technology marked a significant shift in the computing paradigm, one that was largely overlooked by the fading company. This oversight stemmed from an entrenched belief in traditional computing models, which prioritized desktop and office-centric solutions. As smartphones and tablets began to proliferate, their impact on consumer behavior and business operations became undeniable. The implications of this transition were profound, yet they went largely unacknowledged by those in leadership positions. Instead of adapting to the mobile-centric demands of the market, resources were allocated to legacy systems and outdated product lines. This misalignment created a disconnect between the company's offerings and the needs of an increasingly mobile workforce. Competitors who embraced these new paradigms swiftly gained ground, capturing market share and redefining customer expectations. The reluctance to pivot from established practices resulted in a diminishing relevance in a rapidly evolving industry. New entrants thrived by innovating around mobile solutions, leaving the fading company struggling to regain its footing. The internal resistance to change echoed throughout the organization, stifling creativity and innovation. As this region of technological advancement continued to flourish, the once revered entity found itself increasingly isolated, a relic of a bygone era, unable to navigate the currents of change that define the future. The emergence of social media altered the landscape of business perception. Platforms designed for instant communication transformed public discourse, exposing organizations to unprecedented scrutiny. This environment proved challenging for the fading company. Once celebrated for its innovations, it now grappled with an image tarnished by its inability to adapt. Conversations surrounding it became dominated by critiques and comparisons to more agile competitors. Negative narratives proliferated, magnified by the speed at which information spread. Perceptions solidified around the notion that it had become outdated, ineffective, and irrelevant. This perception was not merely a passing phase. It echoed through tweets, posts, and viral content, reinforcing an image of decline. The company's legacy of pioneering technology faded into the background, overshadowed by the allure of newer, more dynamic firms. The disconnect between its historical significance and current reality was stark. While it had once defined the office equipment landscape, the rise of digital communication rendered its contributions less meaningful in the eyes of consumers. This struggle for relevance became evident as potential partners and clients increasingly gravitated toward more contemporary brands. The impact of social media was palpable, shaping opinions and limiting opportunities for reinvention. In this evolving environment, the challenge was not merely to innovate, but also to reclaim trust within a landscape that had shifted dramatically. The legacy of PARC remains a cornerstone of technological advancement, even as the company grappled with its identity. This research center birthed revolutionary ideas, shaping the very foundations of computing. Innovations such as graphical user interfaces and networking protocols emerged from these halls, echoing through the annals of technology. The brilliance of these concepts, however, was often overshadowed by the inability to effectively translate them into marketable products. Despite the groundbreaking work, many of these ideas languished, uncapitalized upon. This disconnect created a chasm between potential and reality, rendering these innovations mere whispers in a rapidly advancing industry. The brilliance of PARC, while undeniable, became a stark reminder of missed opportunities. The ethos of the organization, once a beacon of creativity, transformed into a cautionary tale of how theory can falter in practice. Attention shifted to competitors who seized the moment, bringing to market solutions that captured the imaginations of consumers. As they flourished, the fading company was left to ponder the implications of its choices. The gap widened, revealing a painful truth. Even the most significant innovations, when unaccompanied by strategic foresight and execution, can dissipate into obscurity. The haunting specter of what could have been loomed large, casting a shadow over the once illustrious legacy of PARC. The challenge of retaining talent became increasingly pronounced as the once vibrant culture began to deteriorate. Individuals who had once been drawn to this innovative environment found themselves seeking opportunities elsewhere. The lure of a more dynamic atmosphere, coupled with the promise of recognition at emerging technology firms, contributed to a slow but steady exodus. This region, once filled with brilliant minds, now echoed with the footsteps of those departing in search of fulfillment. With each departure, a significant loss occurred, not merely of personnel, but of institutional knowledge and experience. The erosion of expertise left a void that was difficult to fill, as remaining staff struggled to maintain momentum in an increasingly stagnant environment. The brain drain diluted the creative potential that had once characterized the organization, leading to a cycle of diminished innovation. Consequently, projects languished in development as the remaining employees grappled with the absence of their former colleagues. Frustration grew as initiatives faltered, further fueling turnover. New hires, often lacking the depth of understanding required, found themselves inadequately prepared to navigate the complexities that had once sparked intense collaboration. This pattern of attrition culminated in a diminished workforce where enthusiasm waned and the spirit of invention faded into the background, marking a poignant contrast to the dynamic enterprise it once was. The financial strain of maintaining legacy operations became increasingly apparent, burdening resources that could have otherwise fueled innovation. Aging systems required maintenance and support, diverting capital from potential advancements. This region, once vibrant with the promise of groundbreaking technology, now found itself entangled in the complexities of outdated infrastructure. Costs escalated, overshadowing the flickers of creativity that remained within the organization. The challenge was not merely in sustaining these antiquated systems, it lay in the inability to pivot towards emerging trends. Investments in new technologies dwindled as the weight of legacy operations tightened its grip. Amidst this backdrop, the market began to shift. Competitors, unencumbered by outdated paradigms, surged forward, seizing opportunities that the fading company failed to recognize. Budgets tightened, and the call for innovation grew faint, echoing in the halls once filled with fervor. This environment stifled the very essence of progress, leading to a paradox where the preservation of the past thwarted the promise of the future. As costs continued to spiral, it became increasingly difficult to justify expenditures on legacy systems, further exacerbating the cycle of decline. choices narrowed, and the momentum necessary for revitalization slipped away, leaving behind remnants of what had once been a pioneering force in the industry. The fading company invested in the Xerox document cloud, attempting to carve a niche in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. This initiative aimed to blend traditional printing expertise with emerging cloud technologies, signaling an effort to adapt to the demands of a paperless future. Resources were allocated, and teams were assembled, all focused on creating a seamless experience for clients looking to manage documents online. These efforts, however, met with challenges that hindered progress. Market dynamics shifted swiftly, and competition intensified. Established players leveraged advanced capabilities while introducing innovative solutions that resonated with consumers. In contrast, the fading company struggled to articulate its value proposition, leaving clients uncertain about the benefits of engaging with the document cloud. Marketing campaigns attempted to highlight features and integrations, yet they often failed to connect with potential users. The once revered reputation for innovation became overshadowed by a perception of stagnation. Feedback from early adopters revealed usability concerns and a lack of distinctiveness in comparison to other platforms. As time passed, engagement declined, and the ambitious project revealed cracks in its foundation. What was intended to signify a new chapter instead became another reminder of the company's inability to pivot effectively in an unforgiving market. The document cloud, once a beacon of hope, faded into obscurity, leaving lingering questions about the company's future trajectory. The importance of leadership vision became increasingly apparent as the company struggled to navigate a rapidly evolving marketplace. Decisions made at the top often reflected a reluctance to embrace the very technologies they had once pioneered. This hesitance created a void, leaving it vulnerable to competitors who swiftly adapted to the digital landscape. The absence of forward-thinking strategies culminated in a failure to leverage its extensive intellectual property, a treasure trove that could have fueled innovation in an age defined by connectivity and efficiency. In this region of corporate disarray, internal communication faltered, leading to disjointed efforts that lacked cohesion. Teams operated in silos, pursuing divergent paths without a unified direction. This fragmentation diluted the impact of potential initiatives, resulting in missed opportunities that could have rekindled interest in its offerings. A culture resistant to change further stifled ingenuity, as employees became complacent in the shadow of a once dominant brand. The shift in consumer expectations went largely unaddressed, as the fading company clung to legacy products that no longer resonated in the marketplace. Disruption became the new norm, and without a compelling vision to guide them, they found themselves increasingly irrelevant. Such stagnation illustrated the critical role leadership plays in shaping the trajectory of a corporation amidst relentless technological advancement. Corporate governance emerged as a significant factor in the unfolding decline. Accountability mechanisms, or the lack thereof, shaped decision-making processes that. The ethical implications became increasingly apparent as the organization failed to adapt to shifting market demands. Instances of neglect toward innovation reflected a deeper disconnection between the company's values and operational practices. Stakeholders, once invested in a promising vision, began to question the integrity of leadership. This erosion of trust influenced not only employee morale, but also customer loyalty. Inadequate governance structures contributed to the inability to pivot effectively in response to emerging technologies. As competitors harnessed the power of the digital age, the organization's reluctance to embrace change became a glaring weakness. The repercussions were felt across the board. Financial performance deteriorated, and market share diminished. With oversight mechanisms faltering, the ethical landscape of corporate responsibility shifted. This environment allowed for risky decisions that these rising entities, equipped with fresh perspectives, capitalized on the shortcomings of established firms. The introduction of user-friendly interfaces and cloud-based solutions attracted a growing customer base, while traditional companies remained mired in outdated practices. The rapid evolution of technology rendered many existing products obsolete, and the inability to pivot led to a loss of relevance in this competitive arena. The impact of these new players extended beyond mere market displacement. They fostered an environment where innovation was no longer a luxury, but a necessity for survival. This urgency prompted even the most entrenched organizations to rethink strategies and invest heavily in research and development. Yet, the challenges remained daunting. Many failed to keep pace, resulting in diminishing returns and eventual declines, as the once revered brands faded into obscurity, overshadowed by the relentless advancement of their more agile counterparts. The emergence of open-source software redefined competitive landscapes, offering alternatives that were both cost-effective and innovative. This shift catalyzed significant changes in consumer behavior, as businesses and individuals alike began to gravitate toward these accessible solutions. The allure of free software drew attention away from traditional proprietary offerings, creating a growing divide. Many organizations, once reliant on established entities, found themselves evaluating the practicality of adopting these free alternatives. The collaborative nature of open-source development fostered rapid advancements, enabling a community-driven approach to problem-solving. This environment cultivated a sense of shared knowledge and expertise, challenging the status quo of established software companies. As these free alternatives gained traction, the economic implications became apparent. Budget-conscious organizations began to prioritize open-source solutions, diverting funds from traditional licenses. This pattern echoed across various sectors, influencing decision-makers who sought to optimize resources amidst tightening budgets. With each shift toward free software, the pressure mounted on established companies. They struggled to articulate their value propositions in a landscape increasingly defined by collaboration over exclusivity. This transition underscored a broader trend toward democratization in technology, where innovation thrived outside conventional corporate structures. The results were palpable, as once dominant players faced an uphill battle against the compelling allure of collaboration and shared progress. The diminishing role of hardware marked a significant shift in the landscape of technology. This transition began to redefine the business strategies of once foremost companies. In this evolving paradigm, software-driven solutions emerged as the focal point, rendering traditional hardware offerings less relevant. The once celebrated innovations in printing and copying became overshadowed by the rapid advancements in cloud-based applications and digital platforms. As the allure of connectivity took precedence, it became evident that the future of productivity lay not in physical devices, but in the seamless integration of software functionalities. The increasing reliance on remote collaboration tools and digital workflows diminished the necessity for extensive hardware investments. This shift posed a considerable challenge for entities that had thrived on hardware sales, leaving them grappling with a rapidly changing environment. In this region of technological evolution, the allure of subscription models and service-based offerings began to overshadow the once lucrative sales of physical products. Companies that failed to adapt found themselves at a disadvantage, unable to keep pace with the burgeoning demand for agile, software-centric solutions. The landscape transformed, with the focus shifting away from tangible assets towards intangible capabilities. As the remnants of hardware-centric models crumbled, a new era emerged, dominated by the promise of efficiency and innovation in the realm of software. User-centric design became increasingly vital as businesses sought to engage a more discerning clientele. This shift in focus revealed a stark contrast between evolving expectations and the offerings of fading companies. The inability to prioritize customer experience led to disconnection. Products emerged that, while technologically advanced, lacked intuitive interfaces and failed to resonate with users. In this region, where once vibrant offices buzzed with innovation, the silence serves as a reminder of missed opportunities. Feedback loops, essential in shaping effective solutions, were disregarded. The importance of understanding user needs became overshadowed by an obsession with maintaining legacy systems. Meanwhile, competitors who embraced this philosophy flourished, adapting to the demands of a digitally savvy audience. The allure of sleek designs and seamless interactions proved irresistible. Businesses that recognized this trend capitalized on it, crafting experiences that not only met functional requirements but also delighted users. The fading company, in stark contrast, found itself entrenched in outdated paradigms, unable to pivot towards a more empathetic approach. Consequently, customer loyalty dwindled, replaced by a sense of abandonment. The repercussions of neglecting user-centric design extended beyond immediate sales. They eroded brand value and trust. This decline underscores the critical nature of aligning product development with the evolving landscape of consumer expectations. The emergence of new threats in the digital landscape marked a significant turning point for many organizations. With the proliferation of the internet and an increasing reliance on technology, vulnerabilities became apparent. The inability to address these cybersecurity challenges would prove detrimental as trust in digital solutions waned. Despite possessing the technical prowess and resources, a pervasive reluctance to prioritize cybersecurity measures left critical gaps. This region of technology was rapidly changing, yet the fading company remained hesitant to innovate in response to the evolving threat landscape. Competitors swiftly adopted advanced security protocols, positioning themselves as more reliable options. The reluctance to invest in robust cybersecurity solutions not only alienated potential customers, but also exposed existing clients to risks that could have been mitigated. These ruins of a once prominent enterprise revealed a lack of foresight in recognizing the importance of security in product offerings. As data breaches became more frequent, the fallout from inadequate protections seeped into both reputation and revenue. Trust eroded as clients reevaluated partnerships, leading to a gradual yet noticeable shift away from the brand. This failure to adapt to the new reality of cybersecurity threats. The role of innovation hubs emerges as a crucial element in understanding corporate decline. These environments foster creativity, allowing startups and small businesses to thrive amid rapidly changing technological landscapes. The proximity to emerging ideas and agile methodologies becomes vital for sustained growth. In this region, nimble teams often pivot in response to market demands, harnessing fresh concepts while established entities struggle to redefine their identities. Startups leverage their limited resources to iterate quickly, often leading to groundbreaking solutions that larger firms overlook. It is here that the contrast with fading companies becomes stark. The ability to embrace a culture of experimentation encourages risk-taking that established institutions may shun due to their rigid structures. These small innovators frequently disrupt the status quo, challenging long-held beliefs about industry standards and consumer expectations. As the landscape shifts, those entrenched in tradition may find themselves suffocating under the weight of their legacy. The lessons from thriving startups emphasize the importance of adaptability, suggesting that the path to revitalization lies in collaboration with these agile entities. The integration of fresh perspectives from the innovation hubs highlights the necessity of remaining engaged with the pulse of technological advancement. Without such awareness, larger corporations risk becoming relics, mere shadows of their former selves, unable to reclaim their once dominant positions. Rigid structures often create an environment where adaptability is stifled, leading to stagnation in innovation. In this setting, decision-making processes become elongated, weighed down by bureaucracy. The necessary agility to pivot in response to market shifts is lost. As a result, the fading company finds itself unable to respond effectively to emerging technologies or consumer demands, creating a chasm between itself and more nimble competitors. The reluctance to embrace change manifests in various forms. New ideas struggle to penetrate entrenched hierarchies, where established practices dominate the corporate culture. Employees may feel disempowered, their creativity dulled by a lack of agency. Initiatives that could have revitalized growth stall, mired in layers of red tape. This stagnation leads to declining morale and a pervasive sense of resignation. In the broader context, the consequences extend beyond internal operations. Market perception shifts as stakeholders observe a lack of dynamism. Investors begin to view the organization as a risk rather than an opportunity. The once prominent brand, now seen as outdated, loses its luster in a rapidly evolving landscape. Competitors capitalize on the opportunity, capturing market share and leaving behind a legacy that struggles to secure its relevance. Inflexibility not only hampers growth, but also seals the fate of once thriving entities, marking the transition from innovation to obsolescence. The shift to subscription models emerged as a significant trend in the technology landscape, reshaping how software and services were consumed. Embracing this change became essential for companies seeking sustainability and long-term customer engagement. It introduced a more predictable revenue stream, enabling businesses to adapt quickly to evolving market demands. The hesitation to adopt this model rendered it increasingly difficult for the fading company to maintain relevance amid competitors. Many organizations capitalized on the subscription framework, offering flexible pricing and continuous updates that customers found appealing. The seamless integration of services into everyday business practices fostered loyalty and reduced churn. Yet, the reluctance to pivot toward this innovative approach manifested in missed opportunities and diminished market share. The rigid adherence to traditional sales models limited the ability to engage with a more diverse clientele. Potential customers sought the flexibility and accessibility that subscription services provided. Instead, the fading company remained anchored to a past era, unable to recalibrate its strategies. As competitors flourished under the subscription model, this region of the industry became increasingly competitive. Those who adapted thrived, while others faced gradual decline. The absence of a proactive approach left the fading company to grapple with the consequences of its inaction, as the world around it continued to evolve, leaving it behind. Corporate social responsibility emerged as a vital aspect of modern business practices, yet the fading company struggled to align its initiatives with public expectations. This region experienced a growing demand for ethical standards, sustainability, and community engagement. It became increasingly clear that successful enterprises were those that not only delivered products, but also contributed positively to society. In this context, the organization faced perception challenges that were difficult to overcome. While it attempted to introduce socially responsible projects, these efforts often appeared disjointed and lacked authenticity. Stakeholders began to perceive these initiatives as mere marketing strategies rather than genuine commitments. The disconnect between its corporate messaging and actual practices highlighted a deeper issue: the inability to foster a culture of accountability. These ruins of a once revered legacy were now associated with outdated practices, and the lack of transparency contributed to public skepticism. Trust eroded slowly, as disenchanted customers sought alternatives that aligned more closely with their values. Competitors adept at incorporating corporate social responsibility into their core strategies gained significant market share, further exacerbating the fading entity's plight. In the long run, the challenges of perception became intertwined with operational shortcomings. The failure to adapt to societal expectations not only hindered growth, but also cemented its decline, leaving a once innovative leader in the shadow of its competitors. The evolution of office work marked a pivotal moment as remote work trends began to reshape the landscape of corporate environments. This transformation prompted many organizations to embrace flexibility, allowing employees to operate beyond traditional office boundaries. The shift created demand for new technologies and services that would facilitate remote collaboration and communication. In this changing climate, responses varied significantly among companies within the sector. Xerox, once a formidable name in document technology, struggled to recalibrate its offerings to meet emerging needs. The company's historical focus on physical printing equipment left it ill-prepared to pivot towards digital solutions that enabled remote operations. As demand for cloud-based services surged, competitors adapted swiftly, introducing platforms that catered to mobile and remote workforces. The fading enterprise remained anchored to its legacy products, unable to effectively transition to a digital-first approach. Challenges continued to mount as Xerox's misalignment with market trends became increasingly evident. Attempts to innovate were often overshadowed by a rigid corporate culture resistant to change. The urgency of the moment called for agility and foresight, yet the response remained tepid at best. This hesitance further solidified its position in a rapidly evolving market, amplifying the gap between itself and more adaptable rivals. The consequences of this inertia were profound, marking a significant turning point in its trajectory. Financial performance reflected the gradual decline of a once prominent entity. Revenue figures began to exhibit a troubling pattern, with annual earnings steadily diminishing, revealing a stark contrast to earlier decades when it led the market. This region, once bustling with innovation, now bore the weight of stagnant growth, as key metrics painted a discouraging picture. Profit margins narrowed, revealing inefficiencies that grew more pronounced over time. The shift from a robust operating income to a series of losses became evident in the financial statements. Investors began to lose confidence, leading to declining stock prices that mirrored the company's faltering reputation. Earnings per share, once a benchmark of success, plummeted, signaling a lack of investor faith in future profitability. The balance sheet deteriorated further, with increasing liabilities juxtaposed against dwindling assets. Cash flow statements reflected the struggle to maintain liquidity as operational challenges compounded. In this environment, strategic missteps became more pronounced, leading to failed initiatives that consumed valuable resources without yielding the anticipated returns. The broader competitive landscape shifted dramatically, with agile competitors seizing opportunities that Xerox overlooked. The failure to adapt and innovate resulted in a stark decline in market share, solidifying its position as a cautionary tale in the annals of corporate history, where once it thrived, it now languished in obscurity. In this context, venture capital emerged as a potential lifeline, a source of funding that could have revitalized the fading company. Numerous innovative concepts and emerging technologies beckoned for investment, yet it remained detached, observing the rise of competitors with burgeoning ideas. Those in the venture capital sphere recognized the untapped potential within the realm of computing and digital solutions, often directing their resources toward businesses that embraced agility and adaptability. Initial discussions regarding collaborative opportunities were fleeting, overshadowed by the company's reluctance to shift from its historical strengths. Promising startups approached with groundbreaking technologies and visionary projects, yet were met with hesitance and skepticism. This reluctance to embrace change resulted in missed connections, as potential partnerships dissipated into the ether, leaving behind only echoes of what could have been. The investment landscape evolved rapidly, with agile entities seizing the moment, evolving to meet consumer needs and market demands. The fading company, once a pioneer, could only watch as others flourished, their innovative spirit seemingly in stark contrast to its own stagnant ambitions. Capital that could have transformed it into a key player in the digital age was instead diverted toward more daring ventures, solidifying its departure from the vanguard of technological advancement. The landscape continued to shift, leaving behind remnants of a once thriving legacy. Economic cycles profoundly influenced Xerox's strategic decisions, oscillating between periods of growth and contraction. During times of economic prosperity, they pursued aggressive expansion, investing heavily in research and development. This resulted in innovative products that initially captured market attention, positioning it as a leader in document technology. The optimism prevalent in these cycles encouraged risk-taking, allowing for expansive marketing campaigns and the development of new business models. As economic downturns emerged, however, the repercussions were significant. Revenue streams contracted, prompting sharp budget cuts that affected research initiatives. This led to a stalling of innovation, leaving a gap in its product offerings. In these challenging periods, the focus often shifted to cost-cutting measures, resulting in layoffs and a reduction in workforce morale. These decisions created a ripple effect, diminishing the company's competitive edge and contributing to a perception of stagnation. Amidst fluctuating economic conditions, the inability to adapt strategies accordingly became evident. The once vibrant atmosphere transformed into a cautious environment, where decisions were made to protect existing assets rather than invest in new opportunities. This reluctance to embrace change marked a pivotal moment in Xerox's trajectory as it struggled to navigate the complexities of the evolving marketplace. The impact of these cycles remained palpable, echoing through the corridors of its fading presence in the industry. The consequences of failing to innovate manifested in a stark legacy of stagnation. This region, once a beacon of technological advancement, became synonymous with missed opportunities. A reluctance to adapt to the rapid shifts in computing left it vulnerable to emerging competitors who embraced change with agility. New players in the industry seized the moment, introducing innovative solutions that captured market interest and consumer loyalty. The once revered brand found itself overshadowed by rivals that prioritized forward-thinking strategies and embraced the burgeoning digital landscape. Products that had once been cutting-edge now appeared dated, stagnant in a world that demanded constant evolution. This erosion of relevance created a growing disconnect between the company's offerings and the expectations of a modern user base, leading to declining sales figures and diminished market share. Employees witnessed the gradual shift from an environment of creativity to one marked by uncertainty. Morale waned as the vision that had once inspired innovation gave way to a culture of compliance and routine. The once vibrant headquarters, filled with the energy of pioneering ideas, began to echo with the sound of silence, stifling ambition. As competitors surged ahead, the fading company consistently found itself at a crossroads, where the fear of failure paralyzed its ability to envision a future beyond the confines of its past, a past now overshadowed by stagnation. Strategic insights emerge from the decline of this once prominent entity, illustrating critical lessons for both emerging and established organizations. The reluctance to adapt to a rapidly evolving technological landscape became a defining characteristic of its downfall. A failure to embrace innovation, particularly in the realm of digital solutions, hindered any potential resurgence. It highlighted the necessity for companies to remain agile, responsive to market demands, and forward-thinking in their approach. Leadership played a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of Xerox. Decisions made in boardrooms often reflected a short-sightedness that ignored the transformative potential of new ideas. This oversight serves as a reminder that fostering a culture of innovation and encouraging diverse perspectives can be invaluable. A narrow focus on traditional strengths rather than exploring new opportunities can stifle growth. Additionally, the importance of strategic partnerships becomes evident. Opportunities to collaborate with tech innovators were overlooked, leading to isolation in a competitive market. This illustrates that leveraging external expertise and resources can be crucial for navigating complex challenges. Finally, the necessity of a clear vision cannot be understated. The fading company's failure to articulate a cohesive future strategy contributed to its decline. Organizations must prioritize long-term planning, ensuring alignment between their goals and the evolving landscape to avoid a similar fate. Possibilities for rebirth and reinvention linger within the remnants of this once dominant corporation. Strategies emphasizing innovation could offer a pathway forward, allowing it to harness advancements in technology that have continually reshaped the industry. The embrace of digital solutions might redefine its core offerings, fostering a shift from traditional printing services to comprehensive, integrated digital workflows. Investing in research and development could cultivate new products that seamlessly integrate into the modern workplace. This region of technology, characterized by rapid advancements and shifting consumer needs, presents opportunities for those willing to adapt. By exploring partnerships with emerging tech firms, the fading company could augment its capabilities, entering markets previously unconsidered. Emphasis on sustainability may also resonate within the contemporary consumer mindset. By aligning with environmental priorities, it stands to regain favor among businesses increasingly focused on reducing their carbon footprints. This commitment could enhance brand reputation and attract a clientele seeking responsible partnerships. Cultivating a culture that encourages creativity and agility will prove essential. Empowering employees to contribute to strategic initiatives can lead to a resurgence of ideas that might challenge the status quo. In this environment of collaboration and open-mindedness, the potential for transformation remains, suggesting that even the most storied institutions may find ways to thrive in a changing world. The path is undoubtedly complex, yet hopeful. The impact of digital transformation on traditional businesses has reshaped various industries, leaving many struggling to adapt. In this evolving landscape, companies face the pressure to integrate technology into their operations. This transition often reveals a stark contrast between established practices and emerging digital solutions. Existing frameworks become insufficient, leading to a gradual decline in relevance. The pressure mounts as competitors leverage innovation. Traditional businesses frequently find themselves anchored in outdated models, unable to pivot quickly enough. Market expectations shift, driven by consumer demands for speed and accessibility. This creates a widening gap between those who embrace change and those who resist it. Investment in digital infrastructure becomes essential, yet not every entity possesses the resources or vision to navigate this transformation effectively. Decisions become critical, as missteps can lead to diminished market share and consumer trust. The consequences manifest as declining revenues and operational inefficiencies. Amid these challenges, a few organizations emerge as leaders, showcasing the potential of digital adoption. Their success stories serve as cautionary tales for others, highlighting the necessity of foresight in an increasingly tech-driven environment. The remnants of those unable to adapt linger in abandoned headquarters and outdated equipment, a testament to the relentless march of progress. The fate of many hinges on their ability to embrace this new reality. The enduring legacy of Xerox serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities inherent in technological advancement. This company, once a trailblazer in innovation, introduced concepts such as the graphical user interface and the mouse, which would later become staples in computing. Despite these groundbreaking contributions, a failure to capitalize on its the lessons derived from this trajectory are multifaceted. An organization may possess remarkable ingenuity yet falter in its ability to adapt to changing market dynamics. The disconnect between visionary ideas and their commercialization illustrates a critical gap that can undermine even the most promising innovations. This region of technological history underscores the necessity of foresight and flexibility. In the quiet halls of the once bustling research centers, the echoes of opportunity lost resonate. It becomes evident that fostering a culture of continuous learning and responsiveness is essential. Future generations are cautioned to remain vigilant against complacency, recognizing that the landscape of technology is ever evolving. The fading company stands as both a beacon of what once was and a cautionary tale of what can happen when potential is left unfulfilled. The reflections on their journey encapsulate the importance of not merely inventing, but also adapting and thriving in an increasingly competitive environment.